All right. So, Samuel,
Hello.
welcome to TechBBQ 2024.
Thank you. Well, here in lovely Copenhagen, bit rainy this
yeah,
morning.
live in Copenhagen. Well, that's the weather in Copenhagen as usual.
Always.
So you're actually the first guest
Yes,
on
I am.
our TechBBQ podcast. It's a pleasure to have you. I'm really glad you could make it.
I'm glad to be here.
And find time in your schedule. So I want to get to know you a bit in this podcast episode. So give me a brief update about who you are, where you're from, maybe some education background, something like that.
Of course. So I am originally from Slovakia. I moved to Denmark to study computer science about 6 years ago. I did computer science for about 2.5 years. And then I switched to business because I did find the computer science to be quite easy in Denmark, which a lot of people, when they hear that, they think it's interesting. But it's because I started coding when I was 13. So I had a lot of experience in coming in. Most of the stuff that was being taught in the first and second year were quite basic to me. It's something that I was expecting the classmates to already know. And so I took a course in project management, and I found that quite interesting. So I took a dive and just switched to business for a year and a half to finish my bachelor's. Switched to business and was called Innovation and Entrepreneurship. After that, after my bachelor's, I actually moved to Czech Republic, and I worked in a family office for about a year. So doing financing, investment management, sitting on the board meetings with the owners of the companies and that we had shares in, even some of our own companies that we bought out. So got a lot of experience there in the business world, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, I thought maybe I can get my master's. So I came back to Denmark and I started doing my master's program at the Danish Technical University, DTU. And they have this newer program, I would say. It's called Technology Entrepreneurship.
Mm-hmm.
And they always ask me to promote it whenever I have the chance. So it's a great program.
Definitely.
It's essentially merging of a business and the technology that's coming out of DTU. So they have always some new technology, but because they are technical people, they don't really have the experience, the knowledge of how do you bring it to an actual market. So they start this master's program where they try to get people who are interested in business, people with experience in business in various areas, and then they just say, okay, here is a DTU technology, go figure something out. How do we bring it to market? And as part of that studies, actually, we proposed the startup that I'm working on right now.
Mm-hmm.
So we did a feasibility studies on it, and then we went into this special program called XTech, which is an incubator style program where you get students from other DTU sectors. Could be software, could be UI, UX, could be product design, AI, whatever. And then we built a company together, or like incubator company.
Yeah, definitely. And the company you're built, is this the same one you're still working on today?
And the company is called Eternal.
Yeah.
It's a dev tech that's helping families and next of kin get access and manage the online accounts and digital assets of their loved ones. So by dev tech, most people sometimes imagine like sticking needles into people who are close to dying and having them a peaceful transition. But that's not really what we are doing.
No. But it's it is solving a social issue.
Yes.
Yes, you can get access to Facebook accounts, but it's a tedious process.
Exactly.
Because the person you're trying to access is dead, so they can't verify that they want to grant access.
Precisely.
So you can it's some kind of like a testament that you are signing before you die to, or is it after, or how does the process work?
That's a great question. Maybe I'll just before that, jump into why I started the company?
Yeah, definitely.
So about a year ago, I lost my uncle to COVID, unfortunately. And being the tech guy in the family, from coding from 13, everyone knows me as a tech guy. They asked me if I can help them manage his online accounts and digital assets. And that's when I found out it was nearly impossible to do for a non-technical person. It's lawyers, POAs, finding the accounts, all extremely time-consuming. At that point, I didn't think I was going to be a founder of a dev tech company. But here we are now.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a problem only for my uncle because he had around 20 accounts. I have over 300 accounts.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So the more we go in generations, the bigger the issue is going to be.
Absolutely. I
And
can imagine.
now, this year, I think it was around 60 million people that died. So it's about 60 million people that die every year. And we're trying to help the families get this online accounts and memories out of what's stored on the cloud.
Yeah, definitely.
Because more and more of our memories, assets, lives are online, right?
It's a great why. And also, in today's world, people don't print pictures anymore.
Yes.
They are on their Facebook accounts, most likely in the albums there. So all your family pictures could get lost, I imagine. And that's a great why. It's a great reason to start them.
Exactly. So it could be on Google Photos, iCloud,
Yeah, exactly.
You could also have online banks now are getting popular. So Lunar, Revolut, N26. What happens to those, right? And that's basically where we come in. Coming in with GDPR was great, but it was not the best. And then in 2021, there was a law that passed in Germany that categorized the digital assets such as photos, documents, as physical assets, as physical letters, as physical pictures. So now the data companies had to provide an access to this information, and that's essentially what we are leveraging. We are sending the request after the person has died, and because of this law, that it's possible for the next of kin to get access to the data.
So instead of next of kin having to figure out themselves, where do I send the request to? Which forms do I fill out? Go through all the manual laborious processes. That's where you come in instead.
Exactly. And we're working with funeral directors, or billmen in Danish. And they provide this service in Denmark where if your loved one passes away, you go to the billman, you arrange the funeral, they send you off to skifteretten, which is the Danish version of inheritance.
Yeah.
But skifteretten doesn't do online accounts, doesn't do online banks, doesn't even do Lunar, actually. So our how we work is a B2B service with billman as an additional service. So the billman has all the information that we need, and then they just offer the service to the families, be like, here is something that you can take care of your digital assets. And it's a great solution for them because the families are coming in and asking, what do I do? And they don't have an answer yet. Well,
so you're mostly working B2B?
Yes.
There's no B2C, it's B2B.
There is a plan to go to B2C. But as a very young company, started in February, we're focusing on something that can spread the word, spread the service as easy as possible without having to deal with legal
and limited resources.
Exactly.
In a young startup company means that you can focus your energy on perfecting the product and the service without doing support and customer service to a lot of individuals.
Yeah.
You only have to support your B2B clients.
Exactly.
And still get a lot of usage on your portal, on your service.
Yeah, and it serves also as a distribution channel.
Yeah.
Because when we partner up with a large billman who might have 10, 15 individual undertakers, funeral directors under their company, then that's a great distribution channel for us. And also helps the families, helps the billmen. It increases the revenue. It helps the families solve the issue that they're experiencing as well. So I look at it as a win-win-win situation. But yeah.
All right. Well, that's cool. And the company is registered in Denmark, or
Yes, it is.
So coming from Czech and from Latvia, do you find it more difficult, less difficult? Have you experienced any difficulties being a startup in Denmark?
Being a startup in Denmark is different, I would say. I do feel like that there's things that Denmark can do to make it easier. There used to be the one Corona company long ago, which is not the case anymore. Also, my knowledge and experience from actual finance world coming into Denmark and trying to start a company, I was surprised that Denmark doesn't do shares, for example. It takes percentages of the company, especially when it's an APS. So that was something surprising to me. Other than that, I find the process quite easy. The issue that we are experiencing right now, especially me and my co-founders, is I'm not Danish, and communicating with Billman is difficult because it's a very traditional industry.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's something that we have experienced and that we're trying to actively solve is how do we get the communication across? So,
but are you alone in the company, or do you have some co-founders? Or
yes, we are 3 founders.
Three founders, yeah.
It's myself, Samuel. Then I have Paulina, who is acting as our COO, and then we have Usama, who is our CTO. And Usama is the only one who speaks Danish, unfortunately.
All right, yeah.
So
the language barrier is real.
Yes.
In your market, as you are talking to Billman, which is a conservative area of business that most of them is older people, even maybe, I imagine.
Correct.
Not having great English skills.
So luckily in Denmark, many people have good English skills. So it's about the perception as well. It's if someone approaches them in Danish, they're significantly more wary of it than if someone approaches them in English. Excuse me, but it still works. There are billmen that we can talk to in English that are perfectly fine with it. But being in such a traditional industry, it's also surprising to me that not all of them are digitized yet. So they just recently started doing digital management of the funeral procedure.
Yeah, definitely. So, how is it going? Are you able to reach out to the billman? Are you able to make some deals? Do you get the reach you need for the company to run, or how is it going?
Yeah. So, being so young and starting from DTU as students, we first did the very lean way of validating the idea is we did everything over email. We didn't have a platform. We didn't have anything. So we validated everything over email. And then during summer, we started building the actual product, working with our pilots, testing it slowly and going to release it hopefully this end of this month, knock on wood. The new product, the new landing page and everything. And that's been doing great. We also found that it's not only the billmen, the companies, the families, and us who are interested in it, but also VCs and accelerators. So luckily, we were able to get into a great VC, a Swiss-based VC called Tenety, working together in Denmark with Copenhagen FinTech Lab. So we're part of their accelerator program right now.
All right, that's cool.
So they are amazing people.
All right,
great help.
Perfect. Awesome. So, what's the plan for the last quarter of 2024? What are you working on for the rest of the year?
Yeah. So of course it's the MVP, refining all of that, refining the platform, but also the communication. We're working on making better communication for the billmen to provide to the families, to hopefully convert more families into using the service, explaining what the issue is, how they might experience it, why it's happening.
Yeah.
having pamphlets, videos, maybe stories that they can share to make it easier for them to basically explain what the pain is.
Awesome. Definitely. So there was a dev tech company.
A dev tech.
Love the name dev tech.
Yeah.
I mean, we're fintech. That's so boring. I want to be dev tech as well. That's so cool. So if people want to learn more about the company or get in touch with you, how would they be able to do so?
Yeah. So you can always follow us on LinkedIn. That's where we're probably the most active. You can follow me on LinkedIn, where I'll be posting a lot of updates about the company. Other than that, you can always find us on our website, iterno.com, and that's ITTAERNO.com.
Awesome.
So
I'll also put the links in the description for the podcast, of course.
Perfect.
Awesome. Well, thank you for taking the time to drop by.
Yeah, thank you.
It was a pleasure having you. Hope we can stay in touch after TechBBQ as well.
Definitely will.
And just have an amazing 2 days here at TechBBQ 2024.
You too.
All right, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you so much.